Cool. So David,
Absolutely,
you
absolutely.
in you're in Florida and you're interested in just meeting with me to discuss some Biveda courses and what am I doing and just make some decisions and yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so I came across you through biogeometry, through like Ibrahim Kareem, and your message just resonates so much, about tuning into the soul, really connecting with the earth, building in a way that is really beyond sustainable. I would call it like regenerative, you know.
Mm.
Um, so for me, that really resonates, and I would like to learn how to do that, but I have no experience, right? So for me, it's like coming to you, asking these questions has to do with figuring out which courses are going to be most important for me, based upon the environment that I live in, based upon the planned finances available, and things like that. So
Okay, okay, I
yeah.
hear you. I'm so much more than just my courses because I have I'm not in a mood to do more video editing at the moment. So it's like the courses, um, I have the Vault course, which is that home I built in Siberia for $800. Nobody believes me. In America, it would probably cost about 3,000, maybe $5,000. We pulled the logs out of the forest. They were
Right.
dry, they were standing, and they were dry, and we just dropped them, and with a thick cable, 20-ton cable, we just pulled them out with a 4x4 vehicle, so that we got the walls for free. Uh,
Wow.
and then the arches,
Hmm.
we basically got C grade, like low cost timber that was literally lying on the street. They already gave up on it, so we just treated it with some copper sulfate. No, I don't know copper sulfate. Some copper stuff. It's like a bluish liquid. So yeah, we basically pulled it off for $800. As I said, in America, materials might have cost you 3 grand. The windows, I typical how you would do the windows. You would, a typical you would design a window and then that just you go custom make that shape and that would cost you like a fat fee and that's why it becomes unaffordable. Where we saved a lot was, I had that arch. I quickly drew it up on checkered paper, to scale, so I could see like, okay, let's say 16, I don't know, 16, what was it, 6.5 meters, and I made it, I don't know, 13 centimeters, or you double it up, so you make it to scale, so then it's easy to measure, and then I basically looked at different
Right.
sizes that I could get, and I went on secondhand website and I picked up triple pane glass without the opening mechanism, just the
Hmm.
glass, and we just put the timber around it, and we built around what the sizes we had. So if you look at a picture, gosh, I'll just show you. Vault. I'll just show you one picture so you can get what I'm talking about. So that's one of the recent courses. Um, yeah, so we bend the
Okay.
arches, and then those are the windows that I'm talking about. And then those triangular ones are polycarbonate. And those little ones on the
Mhm.
top are just double, one in the front and one in the
Okay.
back. So it looks like one continuous arch, but it's actually those are the glass and then the window was openable, a little one, and then I got one piece of plywood. I believe it's 2.4 meters. I think that's 8 by 4 foot. And out of the 8 by 4 foot, I managed to pull off an
Okay.
entire table. So that's and the door. Obviously, I made the door. So this
Okay.
whole thing is in the course. Uh, yeah. So that's the one thing. The other thing is the dome course. It's pretty old, but I did
Mhm.
manage. One of my students in India who bought the training, bought he pulled it off. He basically replicated the same dome. But in essence, the dome is this, and
That was the five dome.
it's two domes. It's one is an aircrete dome, another one is with sandbags. So I had some students come from America
Okay.
all over, and that's how we got to 2 weeks. So it goes up pretty quick, and provided the students like to chill and some, so the dome goes, the acre dome, once you have these timber shapes, which you can reuse over and over, all these shapes, for
Mhm.
the doors and openings, once you have these shapes made, and if you collab with a few friends, you could, the same timber shapes, they're basically placed in there, and the bricks go around, and then you remove the
Mhm.
floor, yeah, and then they stay. So once you have the shapes
Right.
made, the
Okay.
acre dome, I'd say was like three people could go up in a week. So it's a very fast method of construction. So you
Uh,
have only 4-inch thick bricks. We made bricks ourselves. The whole first week we were figuring out how to make these bricks with glycerine and sodium lauryl sulfate. If I were to do this again, I wouldn't make bricks. You know what I mean? I would just buy bricks. But that's obviously bumps up the price. But even in making
okay.
bricks, it was still, like it was
Right.
cement that you got to cost and time, and so it all depends on whether you want to, for example, hustle in winter, make all the bricks, but then you need to make sure that if you're like in Florida, it would work really well. And the other dome is a sandbag dome, so that's typical Cal Earth. Everybody knows about it. There is nothing there, but it's quite energy extensive on the muscle. Even a 3-meter dome, which is
Okay.
9-foot internal diameter, it's like strenuous. Like a 12-foot dome is like bumps up the
Right.
workload by, I don't know, 60%, just pushing it an extra 3 foot, because it's 3 foot wide,
Wow.
and it's immediately 3 foot higher, and it's more volume, and it's more wall, and it's a thicker bag, and so on and so,
Mhm.
like a 9-foot dome, you can literally make with a bag that's, there's a formula I give. I believe it's
Okay.
15-foot dome equals 15-inch bag stomped,
Okay.
left to right. It's like a simple formula. And then I have a whole
Okay.
water course, which is everything I made in with gosh, let's just look at it. Um, Well, that's a nice picture to describe it. So basically, in a water course, I cover 3 types of water tanks. That's one of them. It worked. It was 14,000 liters. I don't know, gallons, probably like 5,000. No? Yeah, 5,000, 6,000 gallons. So it's pretty big. So it's the waterproofing, it's all the outlets, valves, and then there is 2 more water tanks. The underground water tank, which was under that dome, by the way, and above
Mhm.
ground ferrocement tank with mesh, which is actually quite an easy construction. All these landscape things, like, you know, I show from start to finish. So it's really, really like all my projects were in those in that. And then I have a really nice
Okay.
design. Okay, here's the water course, just a little bit more.
Yeah,
Um,
I have a question with that water course, Alosha, which
yeah.
is um, in terms of using water, so that's to have access to water yourself, right? Clean quality water. But would you be able to set up like like what a cold plunge is
Um,
and not waste water?
Cold
Like
plunge.
would it, yeah, like a cold tub, some maybe you guys call it cold bath, but it'd be
Uh,
like built into the ground and it
uh,
would, be fresh, clean water that's cold.
yeah, as long as you don't wash in the soap water in it.
Okay. Okay.
If
So
you
as long
do
as you keep
wash,
the gray water out.
Um, look, theoretically, not theoretically, like, by the way, another thing I built there is loads of 9 wetlands. So you could learn,
Mhm.
and this wetland here is like the for the pool. So
Okay.
all the wetlands, what they do with plants, they pull out all the organic matter. So that's
Hmm.
your soap. So if you'd use natural soaps, and you feel like, let's say you like absolutely, water is absolutely expensive or it's not there, you could uh, build a wetland, and you could circulate that water continuously that drops into that bath, which I did in the pool. and you wash
Okay.
and wash and wash and wash and wash, and that pool never gets dirty because the let's say if you do use natural soaps, I'm like talking natural, then it would, it would just use up in the wetland. Even non-natural soaps it will clean it up, but I wouldn't cycle it back. With natural
Right.
soaps, like you just like soap wort, that kind of thing, soapy plants,
Hmm.
then I see no reason that you could have one bath that continuously circulates through a wetland. You have a pump that just uses solar panel, no inverter, no 220. Just as soon as sun hits it, and it starts to circulate.
Okay.
So I see that
Um,
will definitely work. That you could circulate that water and bath in it all the time, and then not have a problem. It all depends on
okay.
the size of the wetland, and
Okay.
that kind of thing. My methodology is rather go a bit bigger than overdo it than underdo it.
Hmm.
Like this wall here, I've used a 60 centimeter bag with double strands of barbed wire that run
Mm.
in between each row. But that was a very energy intensive project. But I stopped a river. It's
Mm.
170 feet long. This wavy thing, and I had my permaculture waste. It's obviously cost. I had like 10 people building it, and I think it was 10 lorries of sand. It was quite a serious project. So yeah,
Mm.
to answer your question, you could have a bath that circulates. Um, I was able to that pool. It was 100,000 liters, 25,000 gallons.
Wow.
That was constantly clean. So there was a lot of experimentation, and then I obviously got to results. Like the pool took me two wetlands, and I even write them: mistake wetland number one, mistake wetland number two, and on the third one is this one, which is what you're
Mm.
seeing here, and that worked. So that was a proper wetland. So, and then there is a biochar filter, start to finish, which I learned in Thailand from Josh Kearns from Aqueous Solutions. So yeah, it's definitely a good course because I've collected quite a few things, and you can see, and I've made mistakes and improvements on every project. So you could like check my mistakes, like no, don't do that. So it'll just save you. I'd say, well, saved. I've made about $25,000 worth of mistakes. So if anything, um, yeah, it could save you on that, so you don't repeat the same thing. But it's for people who wanna like make stuff. Like a lot of people who bought courses, they just thought they're gonna buy the course and the thing miraculously appears in their garden. Obviously, it doesn't work like that.
Right.
So to drop on the value of the laborers, you could do some like pizza days or whatever, that you could get your friends together and you could pull off pull off, you know, the main thing was hyper adobe is the same as super adobe, just you don't use barbed wire. Hyper adobe is that shade cloth net, and through the net a little bit of mixture comes through and it glues itself to the previous layer and it doesn't slide off. The super adobe is
Okay.
the white polypropylene bags. They're slippery, and that's why I use barbed wire. So we just use hyper adobe now because the barbed wire is an entire step. So provided that you have a big concrete mixer, big drum, possibly even rent one for like if you a day or two, or if it's costly, then I don't know, you could buy second hand. Probably with a petrol engine that just is quite powerful. It uses sometimes even a three-phase power. So if you have a big drum and you have quite a few people, that you could pump out mix really fast. The sand is right there, or sandy soil. I did do it with sandy soil on my project here by St. Petersburg. I just dug out with an excavator. Let me launch my iMovie. I've got quite a bit of stuff that's not edited of the recent projects, and I'm just like I'm working on something else, and I'll show you what I'm working on. Yeah, so if you've got a big enough a machine, and big enough is 350, 300, between 300 and 400 liters.
300,
Then
400.
you could pump out a lot of mix in one go. Um, Okay, where's my library?
So that's a 300 to 400 liter drum.
Yeah, then you could have like say
And
six people on a project, and you could, I would do something with a small drum first, just to test out if you want to like if you want to get used to. Like I have all this entire project that's not edited. Like I was lifting doors, and I just need to get to it, or I need to just give my footage to somebody that can just put it together. Yeah, because really good project. We build this entire A-frame timber arch. So that yeah, maybe if I just have raw footage, yeah, just need to still edit it. But Hyper Adobe is this stuff. So I've got my Brazil project that's not edited, and I have this entire arch thing that's not edited. Everything else is there in the course.
what
Um,
would be the best material for sauna if we wanted to have sauna on the land as well? Would it be the adobe?
um, Look, you could do it with aircrete. You could do it with aircrete, obviously. Uh, yeah, because aircrete goes up really fast. Like here's a little, like for a little sauna, this would be amazing. We did this with
Okay.
kids. So this is 1 foot by 1 foot bricks. Um, and yeah, they go up really fast. You have a compass, and you can do that as an egg. As you can see, this compass, it doesn't go from the center. It kicks back here,
Okay.
and then so that's the center that kicks back, and then it goes up and
Mhm.
down. So you know what I mean. Therefore, you get a diameter of the dome is like that, and then you have a height, more height, so you can do an egg. So and the back wall being like that is a perfect shape for you to lean on. You know what I mean? So you could do
Right.
things like nice and small and cozy. Um, and you don't need to get into like hectic projects. Oh, the vault is the Siberian vault is this project. Um,
Now that has to go, you have to dig, right? In
you
order
don't
to do
have
that
to
one?
dig. In fact, I'm doing right now an upgraded version. What I'm busy on right now, yeah, uh, I'm busy on right now doing a 5-star version of this thing. Have a look in so this is what I'm working on like right now. I'm developing my version of an Earthship. So
Okay.
yeah, it's my like signature piece. It's gonna be these are gonna be bricks, aircrete bricks or hemp bricks,
Mhm.
any bricks. A super adobe half dome, another half dome there, and I'm doing these channels, which let me switch them off. I'm doing these channels that basically send a cold air to make it a cool self-cooling structure. So it's basically like my version of an earthship with an aircrete dome in the back. It's gonna have a window that comes through. Let me show you a more completed version. But I'm not that I'm redoing it. Um, I'm
You're
doing
just upgrading.
no, I'm doing a blueprint. Uh,
Mm.
I'm doing a blueprint because that was just like a nice schematic drawing, but now I'm
Mhm.
doing detailed step by step. So that's what I had. Uh, yeah, it's got a polycarbonate that you can bend. So it's my version of a low cost earthship, but made with instead of tires, we do um, we do sandbags, which
Okay.
you save time on pounding tires by so there's no heavy pounding. It's like just stomping toof 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 because pounding is like you hammer with pound like I don't know like a strong hammer. You have to hammer that earth in, and the
Right.
foundations out of tires are fantastic. But I wouldn't build a whole wall from tires. First of all, it wouldn't go down in my country because like we're not that like people just wouldn't live in a tire house. But a tire
Right.
foundation is really really cool. So that's I have an entrance there, and it's obviously going to be buried, and Yeah, that's what I'm working on at the moment, and it's got some plants in a greenhouse. It is an earthship. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, well, that's what there's the plants. There's
But I heard you saying something on one of your videos about the importance of having windows in each direction energetically. You know,
yes,
like north,
yes,
south,
yes.
east, west.
That's a problem with earthships. This is
Hmm.
Vastu. My Vastu teacher. Look, Vastu is this orange line. Let me do
Hmm.
this in a different. Um, look, you see that those orange lines. So
Yeah.
in the east, the see that's why I have an entrance in the east. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, because a typical earthship is buried from all sides. And the problem was that if you know a little bit about Vastu and Feng Shui, south is Mars. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
doing only windows from south would cause can cause diseases because
Right.
you know what I mean? Just too much Mars. Yeah, sure. Laws of physics and thermal heating and all of that the Earthship provides is fantastic, but we are not just we need to take into account the spiritual aspects. Like from the north, you have that's north there. That's why I have a big
Right.
window coming from the north to allow for that energy, and the energy of financial abundance comes, and it's like proven 1,000 times. They break somebody's window through in the north, and within 3 days, family starts to experience massive changes. So that's why
Wow.
I stopped designing all my homes with just south windows.
Okay.
Obviously in Florida, you would go for something else. You would want windows. It's a different design because you don't need to have it all buried from all sides. I mean, you can, but you obviously have a lot of sunlight, so you wanna and tropics. So it is a different design. I wouldn't even go for something like this if you're in Florida, because it's just not necessary. Homes
Okay.
in Florida should be big roof, like a balcony, like overhang. Like I lived in South Africa, so you just want to make sure that sunlight does not enter your home and does not heat up
Right.
your mass. Some people, I don't
Yeah.
know, I forgot the couple's name on YouTube. They build a super Adobe dome in the desert. They are freaking baking in it because
Right. Of course.
during the day, all that thermal mass would just absorb the heat, and then as soon as the sunlight goes down, then you have that law of thermodynamics, which states that as soon as the temperature inside and outside drops below the temperature of the walls switch on. They start to
Hmm.
neutralize the heat, the temperature, and us being mass or made of water, you start to like heat up from these walls. So it's definitely a
Mm.
nice big awning, and it doesn't have to be super serious. It could be a textile type of roof with some cement impregnation. Yeah, so we'll be doing that in the near future. But Hajar Gibran, my teacher in Acrete, he's experimenting with super lightweight textile structures. Um,
Okay.
yeah, just have a look on
What
his
what's his name again? Can you say his name again?
Hajar Gibran from Dome Gaia. Yeah, his
Okay.
son is running Dome Gaia, but he himself is experimenting with super thin cement and textile construction, which could work really well in Florida.
Okay.
So I would do the Acre Dome, and
Aircrete.
then I would have a hat. Let me show you another design that I did for Mexico. And by the way, I have a course in 3D modeling, which is really cool because then you learn to model your own home in 3D. I
Right.
Yeah, so this is what I'm doing for like Mexico. But I would just extend this awning, this roof, out bigger, you know.
Ah, I see.
So that's an aircrete dome and a vault. A vault was ferrous cement. Let me run through my presentation quick so you can get an idea. Uh, so I'm actually working on
Okay.
developing a community that pushes out products that are bioarchitecture homes and
Mhm.
training for that matter, and all to do with bioarchitecture and biomimicry ecotechnologies. So another thing to consider is a vault. A vault is like a dome, but you have one directional, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you have one directional, some mesh and two walls. Uh, Here's a really simple way to get a vault going. You build up the
Okay.
walls and then you do form work, and then you do that once, this formwork, and you can make 100 rooms with it or 1,000 rooms with it. You know, it's really, and the beauty about it is just one mesh, only one
Mhm.
mesh, and it goes up. Those are little timber blocks. They keep it 2 inches from the formwork and 2 inches above you cover. You know, so 4 inch thick of plaster, one to
Right.
five mix, 5 parts sand, 1 part cement, and you have an amazing vault that doesn't need um, plastering. It's already smooth. And then the formwork gets
Okay.
removed. This entire formwork gets removed, and then it can be used over and over. Yeah. And with textile, we can get really thin structures, really, really thin,
Right.
like this, like the super thin structures. But that still needs some research. Hajar is developing. That's my dome, and that's Hajar's dome. So they're
Mm.
also doing some good work with it. So I always thought it was an aircrete dome, and but in the Mexican design, I've now that you've seen the vault, I'm combined. Here, let me open up a 3D drawing here. Uh,
So for that course with the 3D modeling, would you recommend getting that before even trying to do the aircrete dome, or do you think just with the course on the aircrete dome we could get one structure up
You could get
and then
you could get one structure up,
okay,
and I can send you like look at this design. This I'd say. So after all the building, and provided that I'm self-financing all of these things myself, so I really came to like, what do we do to make it super thin to get the most volume? This is my like latest design for warm climate. Um,
okay,
yeah, so can you see it?
yes,
Yeah, so it's an acre dome, nice big awning, a window, another window. So you have a couch there, like a pull what a couch that opens up, and you have a vault with two windows and a nice little balcony that hangs off, or you can do them on pillars. So I would
are
suggest.
you okay if I screenshot this?
Yeah, yeah, of course. And I can provide you that with like top view, side view. I can give you all the sizes of it, like nice and professional. Like I could pull out all the sizes for you. But that's a good, uh, because for me, like to pull up all the sizes is really easy, and I can do it in a um, like a blueprint matter. You know what I mean? Like nice and
Okay, yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So you could have all the front, side, and both. Right, left, that's your left. Yeah. So,
yes,
so that's combines like uh for warm climate. I'd say that's one of the best. I haven't figured out the back, I'm obviously doing the back dome, but I would maybe even lose it for now. If you're doing a first structure,
hmm
I would just really lose it and do something. um I would do something like that. Two acre domes
right,
and a vault coming out. Um, yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
the vault is basically the same sandbag method, and then I could give you some guidance one-on-one on how to put up the vault structure. Or
Okay.
yeah, I could send you some videos because I've done in Brazil. So there's two methods. You either sculpt a lot of like rebar, mesh, like we did in Brazil, or
Hmm.
and then you just plaster it by hand, or you do form work, which obviously a bit
Okay.
more upfront payment, but then
Right.
only one mesh, and then like I
Right.
showed you a plaster 4 inch thick. So that's really cool design. If you want to play with something custom, I'd recommend doing a design course.
Okay.
If you're going to be playing with custom, if you just want to take my design and just like, uh, I could put up a blueprint. I could make a blueprint out of this drawing, which would mean stick like all the rebars, the connection. The reason for that sandbag dome that I've just removed, okay,
Hmm.
is this. Uh, You see this double wall here.
Hmm.
You see this double wall. The reason for the
Yes.
double wall is it's called like a but like a you either have a buttress. Here, let me show you what a buttress is. A buttress is this thing, this wall that makes sure that when the vault is loaded,
Hmm.
like with cement and whatever, that wall is too thin for it to support. So you have to have a buttress, and I explain all of this in the design course as well. That you have a buttress that
Hmm.
makes sure that the wall can't push out. So
Right.
the
Right.
reason for that dome that I've just removed, you either do some walls like buttress, like I weaved
Hmm.
here, made two to make sure that the wall doesn't push out, or you do a double wall,
Right.
or you
I
do a
gotcha.
or you do a dome. You do a dome that holds that from going out. So
Right.
that was the reason for that dome, and that's the reason why I'm doing. So it's not. So my design is really thought through. It's like I don't take things lightly, and I definitely don't want anything falling down.
Right.
So the reason for these half little ears here is exactly that. They provide the buttress for the vault when it's loaded with snow in my cold country. These two half domes just basically counterbalance that. So you either do two
Mm.
walls or you do a little dome, which can be used as one is a room to change, to take shoes off, cupboards and this and that, and another one is a little sleeping quarters. So I designed it that a human can lie down there, just a little room for like a kid, or if you like, gosh, hold on.
So I do have a question for you in terms of, because you said you're working on this bioarchitecture and really getting a company that can share this with the world. But do you still accept like people bringing you to places and then you host, or I don't know if you ever did this, but hosting a workshop in places? Like let's say we got 20 people together here in Florida
Yeah,
who
yeah,
want to
yeah.
learn.
Good
Yeah.
question. Yeah, I'd love that. It depends. First of all, I check you out with my soul, which is here. I either have an expansion feeling, which like, and then I go for it. I just follow this
Okay.
gut feeling, which it's either expansion or contraction. So
Okay.
I've got one way to test out, because the
Right.
mind could see, oh, but I can make some money, but then it's like just shit hits the fan. So I test everything. So
Yeah.
that's the first prerequisite, and from my side, and then generally how it works, I take the student fee. You organize like that. Students also pay for food,
Yeah.
separately to you. I take the fee, I think in the region, and don't hold me to it. I know prices have gone up, but it's a standard fee, like I don't know, $1,000 to $1,500, somewhere there.
Yeah.
Well, $1,000 was like 5 years ago, maybe. I don't know, somewhere there. Okay, it
Okay.
also
Yeah.
depends, and then you need to give me a guarantee of at least no, $10,000 that even if we don't get any students, I walk out with something. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you got to provide for my ticket then back. And if we get more than 10 students, we could organize a fee that goes back to you that will help you with your materials. I'm open for
Right.
that. So let's say if we get 20 students, and I walk out, like with $15,000 coming back and my tickets are paid
Mhm.
then back and I have, decent accommodation with like aircon and wherever, then and decent food, then I'm good with that.
Okay.
I'm up for good
Amazing.
experiences. I'm up for good experience, and we could build that design that I just shown you was a double dome and a vault. It'll probably take 3 weeks, something like that. You would need to. I would recommend, highly recommend that you get a couple of laborers that
Right.
because students are like, oh man, let's chill, let's smoke a joint, and
Right.
and
Yeah.
labor just pump. No matter what, you got like three guys there. They're mixing the mix. They are maybe like one bricklayer, and
Mhm.
that we just. Although laying bricks is very easy, but he'll do it 5 times
Yeah.
faster than any student. Um,
Right. Yeah. The
and
experience,
hey,
the experienced
oh
people,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
because they
yeah.
have that embodied knowledge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you get all the formworks, those timber formworks, and I'll get you all the sizes prior to my arrival. If you get the foundation prior to my arrival with all the drainage and what's it, plumbing, whatever you need installed at the right places, or
Okay.
not, it could be just a foundation. But generally, if you're doing a slab, you'd have all the pipes already put in place, and then just gets covered with a concrete mixer. For example, if it's a slab, you might not do a slab, you might just do a foundation out of the same bags,
Mm.
but either way, a foundation. You may do foundation out of tires. I'll get you all the
Right.
sizes. You'll stick some pegs, draw it out very quickly with chalk, not chalk, some lime powder so you can see it. You got the ground cleared. You sprinkle. Using compasses, you drop the circle, drop all the outline of the building. You get some people that can dig the foundations, and then you just get the foundation. So I arrive. We don't have to fuss with that. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
open for that. I'm open for that. If it's a
Okay.
good experience and I'd love to come to America again, I'd be.
Okay. All right. Amazing.
My sister's in America, so I'm very open for that.
Yeah. Okay. Is she down here? Is she down south in America?
She's I think she's up from California somewhere there. Just yeah,
Okay.
just
Okay.
yeah.
We Yeah, it's definitely something that I'd be interested in. And then my partner also was really interested in me asking you that question. So because we have a long term, we have a really big thing we want to do, which is like a wellness space, but of course in the beginning we know we need to start small because we don't know what we're doing, you know.
Yeah.
We have no idea how to build yet.
So this
So
type of home, I'd be there probably for a month. Uh,
okay.
like three to 4 weeks. That's a different story. Like a, wo- a workshop. Usually people like 10 days they want out. You know what I mean? 4 weeks is a proper build. You need to rely more on laborers
Yeah.
than yeah. Uh, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
so
Hmm.
so it's very important because I had Americans come to Brazil and they were there for 4 weeks. They were like pissed off with me. So um,
Mm.
it's either splitting it into two workshops is tricky because we might not finish one part before the other students arrive or something like that. So it's got to be
Right.
literally better to rely on some laborers, good concrete mixer that can pump out fast. I can manage the team. I could get if we had a big concrete mixer, like closer to 350 liters, we could have two teams building up two walls at the same time. Chick,
Mm.
4 rows
Right.
per day. So let's say have 40 centimeters. What is that? 4 inches, 16 inches. Let's say 18 inches a day on the whole level of the whole home. Next
Right.
day, 18 inches. Next day, 18 inches. So you go up pretty quick, but that you need a big enough machine, and you gotta have not skilled. I don't need anybody skilled, but I need some guys and a good agreement with them that if they pump and they don't fuck around, then they get a little bonus at the end of the day, for example, or the end of the week. It's very important to do that because my experience in Brazil and that if you don't do that, people work as fast as the slowest guy because like why? Like we're all
Right.
getting paid the same. So and the ability uh, to get rid of guys that are not you know not like just fucking around. So I'm sorry to use that,
Right.
but
Right.
but yeah, that's so I'm very experienced. I've had many laborers that I worked with. I pulled off that whole South African project. I had 16 people one day on that long wall. I had 16 people or to 13 people. So it was really so I can manage teams. Uh, I wouldn't say it's stressful for me because I quite enjoy that process. But for somebody like you haven't done it, like 12
Yeah.
guys, it's hectic. So we'll
Right.
probably do a little prayer with the guys every day. Like
Yeah.
I just came with spirits and I would do that. I never did that before, but I came to God 1.5 years ago. I've stopped anxiety, panic attacks, and depression just disappeared. So I'm like, I'm with God. I'm not looking back. So I do a little prayer
Amazing.
with them just so we can, like just go together and we'd eat together with the guys. So it's not like we eating separate, the white guys and everybody else is like, you know what I mean? So
Right.
it will be like a family vibe, but it'll be like pumping. And
Right.
and for 3 weeks for that to be pulled off, and then I'd leave, and then you'd plaster it yourself, you'd install the electrical yourself, you'd install the windows. If they're ready, we could install one window, for example, but I wouldn't do like all that stuff. But I'd show you how to install one window, obviously. Um,
Okay.
yeah, and then you would finish the home. So I would leave. You'd have a shell,
Right.
uh,
Right.
like concrete rough. It's not concrete. The Super Adobe uses 10 parts sand and 1 part
Hmm.
cement. So,
Okay.
no, I mean, it's far from concrete. It's literally
Hmm.
it's 91% natural and
Okay.
9% cement, but it makes it stabilized, so it's really hard. And even if you know don't plaster it in time and all the bags get burned in the sun like a year later, because Hyper Adobe is shade cloth, so it's treated for sunlight. So even if it
Hmm.
gets burnt and flaking off, the material is solid.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
that's why we use a bit of
Okay.
cement.
Okay. And then, you know, again, thank you. This has been amazing. I've learned a lot because this is my first like real exposure to this. And I think right now, like based upon your experience with people who are inexperienced, right? Would it make more sense to start with the course? My partner and I get just a
You
little
could
bit of
you could you,
experience.
you could scroll through
Okay.
the course, so you could just see what you're in for. So you
Okay.
don't have
Okay.
some dreamy, fluffy unicorn ideas of that this is going to be just it's a construction site, it's laborers, and we're going to work with their energies, and you can just get the vibe, and the water course just shows you like all the projects that I've done, and then the dome course shows you obviously building of the dome. So
Okay.
I would just scroll through the courses, and I can get them to you for we can do $250 for both of them. Um, yeah, just because there's a potential of doing something bigger with you,
Okay.
and
Wow.
uh,
Amazing.
and uh, and yeah. So, or
Okay.
you could also get like half an hour extra of my time, and for $300, then I could provide you if you got some questions at the end of it. Like I could provide you an
Okay.
extra half an hour just to answer your questions and whatever. So like
Okay.
$300.
Amazing.
Uh, and yeah, if you do want to go, if you do want me to come through, then you need to do a deposit, like a 33% deposit.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but we could speak about it later. But Yeah, let's say,
Okay.
yeah. So you just need to pay deposit. And we can book a time that's most favorable that doesn't have like monsoon rains or something. You know what I mean? Uh,
Right. Right.
like dry,
Okay.
dryish time, good weather. Maybe I don't know.
Okay.
Florida could get very hot. Maybe not too hot and not monsoon. So something in the middle.
Okay. Um, all right. Well, yeah, I mean, I love it. I love everything you've shared with me. How can I don't you said for this session it's like donation based, but how can I go about doing that? Do you have like a Venmo or like something?
Do you have crypto? Do you have
My
PayPal?
partner has crypto. My partner has crypto, so I can talk to her about it. I myself don't have it. My partner does have crypto and
If
Bitcoin.
your partner can, otherwise you can just do 300 and it will include this session because it will be useful for other students as well.
Okay. Amazing. Amazing. But how do we go about doing that? Is there like a,
Yeah.
are you gonna email me?
I'll send you link right now.
Okay. I have a client here. Is there any last minute stuff that you want to say to me before I head out here?
No. I'm gonna send you.
Okay.
I'll send you the link then in the WhatsApp.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay,
Thank
Dave.
you so much, man.
Thanks,
I really
brother.
appreciate it. Gonna be in touch. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
All right. Thank you.